Hello, and welcome to our case analysis presentation of the company Walmart for the course MGMT 7160-M51 for Global Strategic Management. Today, my team and I, which includes myself, Azra Underwood, Dane Norvell, Devesh Patel, King Min Ho, and Richard Thompson, will be discussing many different aspects of Walmart. Thank you for coming to our presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. For today's presentation, we're going to be discussing a few things for Walmart. We will be discussing the introduction, history, senior leadership, products, mission and values, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, recent news and new projects, strategies, recommendations, and lastly, our references. The company was founded in 1962 by Sam Walton, a successful businessman and student of the Robert J. Terlosky Senior College of Business located in Columbia, Missouri. Walmart Incorporated is one of the largest global retailers that provides a wide variety of discounted retail and grocery store items, over 10,000 stores, and throughout their websites. Their headquarters are located in Bentonville, Arkansas, and currently they employ approximately 2 million people. Walmart is considered one of the largest retail competitors in the supply chain. Their revenues are increasing, with the most recent revenue listed a little bit over $153 billion. In the early 1960s, Sam Walton was a prominent businessman and entrepreneur who began a retail revolution. This revolution was built on the idea of the lowest prices, anytime, anywhere. In only 5 years, the Walton family owned 24 stores and had acquired $12.7 million in sales. It was then incorporated in 1969. In 1970, Walmart became publicly traded, with stock selling at $16.50. By 1970s, it had began selling on the New York Stock Exchange, and at that point had $78 million in sales. Later, it began its first pharmacy and then established the philanthropic foundation known as the Walmart Foundation. This foundation focuses on improving the community through healthy eating, hunger relief, and many other different things to promote the fight against hunger. In 1983, they began their membership-only retail known as Sam's Club. Walmart also continued its expansion globally to China, the United Kingdom, Chile, and many more stores. Today, Walmart is still a leading competitor in the retail market and has many different philanthropic focuses such as wage increases, hiring veterans, disaster relief, and improved benefits for their associates. Recently, they continue to expand globally. Their most recent one, which was in India, where they acquired the Indian store known as Flipkart. Now we will discuss the senior leadership individuals that make up Walmart. Doug McMillon, the president and CEO, director of Walmart Incorporated. Dan Bartlett, executive vice president of corporate affairs. Brett Biggs, executive vice president and chief financial officer. Rachel Branch, executive vice president of global governance, chief legal officer, and corporate secretary. John Fern, president and CEO of Walmart US. And Suresh Kumar, executive vice president, global chief technology officer, and chief development officer of Walmart Incorporated.
As we know, Walmart is a worldwide large supermarket brand, and everyone must have been a shopping customer to the company. The most familiar products are divided by several departments in each single store, such as groceries with fresh produce, meat, beverages, deli, bakery, snacks, organic foods, electronics like TV, video games, computers, photo services, and DVDs. Of course, they conclude markets of clothing in order to compete with Target, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls. Also, Walmart tends to give customer convenient experience widely, so they organize home products for maintenance and improvement. Heating, cooling, water supply, lighting, renovation for kitchen and bathroom, paints, as well as outdoor garden and patio etc. Ideal competitors of this function will be Home Depot and Lowe's. Baby products are definitely necessary as almost every type of supermarket or wholesale has them. Auto, tires, and equipment service is a must, as everyone drives vehicles in every city. The mission statement of Walmart is to aim to build a better world, helping people live better and renew the planet while building thriving, resilient communities. For us, this means working to create opportunity, build a more sustainable future, advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, and bring communities closer together by strengthening the local communities where our associates and customers live. The company is a part of thousands of communities worldwide and support them, whether that's through local giving and associate volunteering, providing emergency relief when disasters strike, providing access to healthy food and services, or relieving hunger through food donations and our philanthropic work to provide nutrition education and healthy food for all. And at the end of the day, helping customers save more of their hard-earned money for the things they care about most. Because at Walmart, live better is what the corporation do every day. Here we talk about the strategic management of this global retailer, how they run business internally. Walmart has perfected its price positioning in the following ways: customer-friendly prices and focus on bulk sales to maximize sales rather than overpricing products. Walmart's procurement emphasized the need to reduce purchasing costs and offer the best price to the customer. The company directly procured from manufacturers, bypassing all intermediaries, and finalize a purchase deal only when it is fully confident that the product being bought is not available elsewhere at a lower price. They're also using EDI computer systems for connecting those of its suppliers. EDI enabled the suppliers to download purchase orders along with the store-to-store sales information relating to their products sold. On receiving information about the sales of various products, suppliers shipped the required goods to Walmart's distribution centers. Besides that, logistic management is a very important element of supplying goods by trucking. The company hired only experienced drivers who had driven more than 300,000 accident-free miles with no major traffic violations. To make its distribution process more efficient, Walmart also made use one of the best logistics techniques, which is cross-docking. In this system, the finished goods were directly picked up from the manufacturing plant, sorted out, and then directly supplied to the customer. For the inventory, Walmart invested heavily in IT and communication systems to effectively track sales and merchandise inventories in stores across the country. The company was able to reduce unproductive inventory by allowing stores to manage their own stock, reducing pack sizes across many product categories and timely price markdowns. Instead of cutting the inventories across the board, Walmart made full use of its IT capabilities to make more inventories available in the case of items that customers wanted most, while reducing the overall inventory levels. Employees at the stores had the magic wand, a handheld computer which was linked to in-store terminals through a radio frequency network. These help them to keep track of the inventory in stores, deliveries, and backup merchandise in stock at the distribution centers. In addition, in efforts to implement new technologies to reduce costs and increase the efficiency, in July 2003, Walmart asked its top 100 suppliers to be the RFID, which is the Radio Frequency Identification compliant by January 2005. Because of that, employees were no longer required to physically scan the barcodes of goods entering the stores and the distribution centers, saving labor costs and time. Walmart expected that the RFID system would reduce the instances of stockouts at the stores.
Hello everyone, my name is Divesh Patel and I'm going to do SWOT analysis for Walmart. Let's dive into some of the major strengths of Walmart. How Walmart has plethora of strengths that helps him to drive through the main fields. This is not all inclusive list. Some of the major ones I've mentioned here. First one is global operations. Walmart's strengths can be attributed to organizational size, which enables the company to withstand some of these threats despite of its imposing weakness. Presently, Walmart operates around almost 11,000 over 11,000 retail outlets with around 56 different brands, which is run by 2.2 million employees worldwide. This allows the company to serve massive number of customers in the target market. Walmart is considered the legend in the retail industry due to its decades of old history. It's determined to keep growing and grow rapidly as we see through the market. Second down to list is leadership strategies. Another key area of strength is ability to manage costs due to adoption of cost leadership strategy. This strategy emphasizes efficacy through the production of high volumes of standard products, allowing the Walmart to exploit economic of scales. To do this, it procures its inventories in massive volumes and sell them to a large number of customers at a very low price. According to the article of Thunberg from 2013, Walmart's success story is a classical example of an organization that has rigorously pursued its core philosophy of cost leadership since the day one of organization. As we should see this strength of Walmart primarily comes from its financial status, and this financial strength allow it to adopt new marketing strategies that can foster better competitive advantages. Moreover, company has sufficient financial capitals to expand in almost any market in the world, thereby creating much larger customer base for them. Speaking about competent information system for supply chains, Walmart has achieved a significant cost saving because of its extensive information system that tracks orders, inventories, levels, sales, and other related information in real time. All this information can be instantly accessed, analyzed, and decision can be made at even a single store level. Efficient, effective management of supply chain and logistic is one of the most important factors for Walmart's success. Walmart's supply chain strategy enables the companies with sustainable competitive advantages. For example, low product cost, inventory carrying cost, and most importantly, low prices for the customers. No doubt, supply chain is a key SWOT strength of Walmart. Last one, it's an important one for Walmart, is brand recognition. Walmart's most crucial strength is brand recognition. Due to the low prices the retail chain has offered, its has become the household names in the US and some of the parts of the world. Its brand has always Walmart to expand into various new geographical locations without relying heavily on marketing and promotions. The company has millions of loyal customers worldwide, making it one of the biggest brands in the world. Let's see some of the major weaknesses of Walmart. Walmart solely focuses on providing a large variety of products at a much lower prices than its competitors. In order to achieve this low pricing, the company had to cut on a lot of corners that indirectly affected Walmart. Some of the major ones listed are as follows: labor-related lawsuits. Walmart dealt with labor relationship conflicts, especially in US market. In pursuit to its strategy to provide the lowest cost, the company had adopted some human resource policies that are not favorable for the employees. Little differentiation. Walmart has no differentiation compared to its competitors, which might hurt the company in the future if the company's commodity prices or average consumer income would increase. In this case, low-cost leadership strategy wouldn't be as effective as it's currently, and Walmart's main competitive advantage would almost be eroded. This business model has been already been replicated in major retail chains other than Walmart, leading to some like expanded decrease in profit margins that has Walmart already been observing right now. High employee turnover. The business suffers from high employee turnover that increases the firm cost, as it has to train new employees more often. The main reason for the employee turnover is low skilled, poorly paid jobs, gender discrimination, promotion issues. Supply changes. Increasing in operational competency and current procedures of Chinese products in United States has negatively affected Walmart's gross margin in certain product categories. Let's talk about one of the important part of SWOT analysis, that is opportunities. Opportunities for a company represent the future prospects and it can exploit to its advantage. Several opportunities exist in the market for Walmart to operate in. One of the first one is expansion to foreign markets. According to Marcella 2014 article, a good chance for Walmart to continue its investment in international operations. For example, Brazil, because they grew at a faster rate than the home market sales. Foreign market presents a new prospect for the Walmart to grow. With diverse expertise as it expect to grow operate differently than in home markets. Improving company's image. Walmart is a third principal US corporate user for the green power, thus there exists the opportunity to save electricity by creating self-sufficient supercenters and investing in renewable energies. This will improve Walmart's social welfare efforts and its reputation, as it's already been criticized by people for poor working conditions and other employee issues. Improving online presence. Current trends depict an increment in US online retail sector. According to Petzl 2017 article, traditional US retail marketing is growing less than 25%, compelling retailers to close most of the locations, storehouses, which we see throughout the last 2 years because of COVID, what we're observing right now. However, e-commerce is grown by 16% annually. Usually, e-commerce was thought to grow almost by 789 billions by 2021, and it's almost crossed that one. This gives Walmart advantage to expand and gaining good presence on online retail market along like players like Amazon. Raising the quality of the products. due to the fact that Walmart has an incredible range and number of products. Some of them may lack quality, especially low quality clothes, and can cause some health concerns among the customers. Walmart has chance to better the quality of its clothing products. It is a great opportunity which Walmart can prove that they can improve upon their certain products and sells them high quality clothes as well as other products at a very and optimal rate. All right, last part of the SWOT analysis: threats. Almost every business has some form of threats. So does Walmart will have. Yeah, I have listed some of the major ones. First one down the list is change in the international economies. High international barriers to threats and the threats in international market due to the constant changes in economies threatens Walmart corp operations. Countries like China, where Walmart purchases about 80% of its merchandise, is undergoing government policy changes to increase its currency value, which yuan. Due to this, Walmart spends more to the supplies that comes in from the Chinese providers. This was from the article from Zhang 2006, but this has been extended towards almost 2014 and 2018. Market saturation. This is also the threat of high resistance from local communities. Walmart impacts local retailers negatively, causing them to lose client and closing after the once the business Walmart has entered into the market in that particular area. This has caused a saturation in the market as the Walmart often ends up competing with itself. Health life trends. Increasing concerns for health issues may cause Walmart to lose some of its major important customers based upon its very limited range of healthy groceries. Walmart may want to focus on assembling extra for those clients' needs and allow you to attend new segments of buyers. Competition is always there for everyone. Competitors like Target, Tesco, Amazon may are making huge efforts to eliminate price differences enjoyed by Walmart. Cost leadership strategy that Walmart is currently having as a main advantage. Therefore, when this happens, Walmart will lose out almost on its current strategy and a large number of client bases. To conclude, Walmart has very successful and acquiring company, and since reaching its objective to be benefits being the number of one retail in the US market, it's currently focused more on expanding into international market through mergers and strategic alliances. Their main strength is driving from the massive operational size, allowing it to enjoy very high economic scales with technology investment that have led Walmart to cut costs and most affordable options to be achieved. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Dane Ravel II, and I will be covering some of the current news of Walmart as well as some projects and other expectations that have been addressed with consumers. Walmart prides itself in being a community-oriented organization. Like many of its competitors, the Walmart newsrooms located on its corporate website paints a broad picture on several of the company's current engagements. For the purposes of this assignment, we will look at two main focus areas: education and scholarship, and COVID-19 relief. The first focus area we're looking at again is education and scholarship, which is a big part of Walmart's overall commitment to serving its community. In accordance with the Live Better You program, Guild Education, and several other academic partners, all which we will discuss throughout the next several slides, support in the form of financial investments has been given to HBCU institutions with the mission of giving back to those who have been historically underrepresented. Some of the primary collegiate partners are Morehouse College, North Carolina A&T State University, Spelman College, and Jackson State University. Now, this isn't the entire list. We'll look at that here shortly, but these are some of the primary collegiate partners. Walmart's drive to help solve equity gaps in education through the Live Better You program has positively impacted its diverse body of over 300,000 employees, specifically who are considered minorities, where 18% of the organization's minority associate makeup have been a part of the program. On top of this, research done by Walmart has shown that engagement with the program has made these participants 88% more likely to receive a form of promotion in their career with Walmart. So what exactly is the LBU program that I've mentioned, and why is it significant? I know that many of you may not understand entirely what it is. Feel free to look actually on the Walmart newsroom, again, which is located on its corporate website. However, here are a couple of facts that will hopefully cover that up. So the first thing is participants of the LBU program will receive 100% coverage for college tuition and book fees, right? It doesn't go into room and board, but it does expand into this, which I'm sure for many of the participants, they're completely okay with it. The program, excuse me, has had more than 65,000 participants and currently has over 1.5 million eligible associates. Again, as a part of a $100 million commitment to help address inequity, an additional $3 million have been pledged by the Walmart.org Center for Racial Equity. And then also, again, we're creating a focus on those HBCU institutions, rather the program is, and an additional $2.4 million has been pledged for just academic aid with Jackson State University. Listed on this slide is a list of all of the current academic institutions that are partnered with the Live Better You program. Though all of these institutions are not HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, Walmart's commitment to serving these underrepresented communities stays the same just by representing those who have been overlooked, regardless of location, right? If it's in a Walmart community, they are committed to serving it. Moving on to the second focus area I mentioned, we will now be addressing Walmart's commitment to COVID-19 relief. As you all know, the pandemic has created an unprecedented situation affecting every industry in some way across the globe. Though the rollout of the vaccine to help fight this virus has created some skepticism, Walmart has committed resources into providing information to its consumers and to the community in which it serves so that everyone is able to make an informed decision for themselves and their families, right? Regardless of the skepticism that these vaccines have created. These resources consist of, but are not limited to, items such as mobile clinics, mobile vehicle tours, vaccination availability within the stores themselves, and different things like health screenings. When reaching any audience, it's important to engage with them where they are, right? So solidifying key partnerships that help capture consumers in a variety of different industries or a variety of different fields, really to provide valuable information has been a focus of Walmart's, right? And that's really a key aspect of marketing anything. If you want to engage with somebody, what better place to do it than where they are? And a big part of culture, right, in the United States is sports. So some of the partners Walmart is working with on vaccine education are the NBA, the WNBA, the NHRA, NASCAR, and as well as government partners, right? Of course, we can expect that. As stated previously, the pandemic has caused industry-wide issues for not only Walmart, but also its competitors and really every industry. Walmart has been able to not only sustain its operations, but improve its operations through an increased focus in e-commerce operations. Let's get into this just a little bit. So starting with quarter one of the 2021 fiscal year, uh, some will call it the middle of the pandemic. Others may call it the waning end of the pandemic, depending on really, I guess, where you are in the world as far as vaccine availability is concerned. We noticed that organizations who had a huge focus in e-commerce, so those like Amazon, right, did very well. Um, Historically, Walmart has been a brick and mortar business, so they would have had to make a shift, which they did during the pandemic. And these efforts in shifting towards e-commerce have overall helped Walmart become one of these, what I'll use in quotation marks as giants in the industry now. Listed on this slide are several different customer search statistics in regard to consumers when they are either engaged with a product or they're searching for a product on a specific application or a specific website, and ultimately where they end up closing their business with Walmart. So this is some good numbers just to show overall how a lot of Walmart's business is coming from things that most of us are familiar with. And it just attests to its switch in e-commerce from being that historic brick and mortar business. This is another important slide in showing Walmart's growth over the course of the pandemic, right? The pandemic, again, has been pushing people toward online shopping. And since Walmart has increased its focus in e-commerce, especially in 2020, it's seen a huge shift in profits, overall becoming one of the biggest competitors in its industry along. And you can kind of see as the line moves up toward the end of the second quarter of fiscal year 2021, really how the organization has thrived. Here is another visual, another example just to kind of build on what we just talked about in the last slide. Here's just a fiscal year sales growth comparison for Walmart. As you can see, the beginning of the pandemic looks drastically different than the end of 2021, leading into 2022 for Walmart. This attests to how important it really is to be able to connect with your consumers through trying times such as a pandemic, right? We never know when things are going to change, and just being able to connect with your consumers in a virtual way is extremely important. Here is another look at just some statistics towards the end of quarter two, specifically for fiscal year 22 through the pandemic for Walmart. And these numbers really show, how well the organization has been able to do, right? We've got 141 billion in total revenue, which was a 2.4% increase from the previous quarter. Comp sales have grown by 5.2%. We see that the e-commerce sales specifically grew 6% and another 103% on a 2-year stack alone, just attesting to what we've been talking about. Sam's Club grew by 7.7% in comp sales. Their e-commerce also grew in 27% through the implementation of an app, which if you haven't had the opportunity to use it and you're a member of Sam's Club, I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver. And then last but not least, we saw operating income increase by 21.4%. Just to sum up everything that we've been talking about in just this section, of the slides before I hand it over. Overall, Walmart has seen good growth through this trying time with COVID-19 kind of plaguing the world. Here are three additional points that are just good to know about what's going on within the organization. Walmart has seen an additional 20,000 associates be added to its supply chain, which, as a direct result of the data shown in that previous slide, right? We've seen the average wage increase in every industry, but within Walmart alone, the average is now about $20.37. And then also we've seen Walmart implement medical coverage at $30.57 per pay period for all of its associates. So overall, Walmart is staying strong and it's keeping up.
One of the biggest areas that we see where Walmart can focus on strategic growth in the future is to focus on e-commerce development. Now, when we think about e-commerce, we think about some of the big websites out there that we know of, such as Amazon, eBay, Target, Best Buy, and Home Depot. But ultimately, how does Walmart work to compete against these and work to gain market share? Well, as we can see in some of these statistics, currently e-commerce only accounts for 5.4% of Walmart sales in 2020 and barely grew to 7.6% in 2021. And while you could argue that that is considerable year-over-year growth, ultimately close to 93-94% of all of their sales still happen in store. So where does Walmart work to begin to develop its e-commerce platform? Well, one thing that we think of a lot of times when we think about Amazon is their customer first mentality. And we hear time and time again that Jeff Bezos drives all operational decisions and all scaling decisions from a question of what does the customer like best. So for Walmart to begin to grow online and grow its e-commerce platform, they really need to think about a customer first mentality so that they can compete with the biggest player out there, which is Amazon. Along with that, we see that Walmart is already investing in some of their e-commerce platforms and is very heavily focused right now on grocery and product delivery. In 2021, they allocated 72% of their strategic capital improvement budget towards e-commerce development, and a big area where they're currently focusing is grocery and product delivery. And lastly, Walmart needs to focus very clearly on their online marketing campaigns to slowly increase market share. Right now, when people think about Walmart, they still think about retail in-store shopping, and it's Walmart's job to change this mentality for the consumer so that they are able to slowly gain market share and have consumers think of Walmart first when they start to think about online e-commerce shopping. As we can see in this slide, one of the big reasons that Walmart needs to shift its focus to continued e-commerce development is simply because of the shift in shopping trends over time. And what this graph shows is the growth, statistical growth, both historically and projected into the future, of in-store retail growth compared to e-commerce growth. So in red, we can see the in-store growth, and we can see in 2019 it grew by a little over 3%. And then obviously COVID in 2020 had a drastic impact and a decrease. But as we look forward year to year, we can expect anywhere from a 3 to 6% growth in in-store retail shopping over time. Comparatively, e-commerce is more or less in the double digits, as it saw a 20% growth in 2019, and even through COVID saw a 16.5% growth, which is substantially more than what in-store retail shopping did. In 2021, we see a 13% growth in e-commerce shopping, and we're projected ahead to do more than 10% every single year. And essentially what this shows us is that in-store retail growth, while growing, is not growing nearly as much as e-commerce growth. And over time, we expect that e-commerce will continue to grow, continue to be the most desired form of shopping now and into the future. One of the other obvious reasons that we believe that Walmart should continue to focus on their e-commerce development, and correlating to the last slide that we looked at, is because of the growth in e-commerce. And what this slide shows us is by generation, how much of that generation statistically shops online. And what we see here that is somewhat surprising to me is that the older generations, even the boomers and the silent generation,
also have spent a percentage of their time in online e-commerce shopping. And specifically, this graphic is looking at groceries. So we see that 37% of boomers and 38% of the silent generation has ordered groceries online at the same time as they've shopped at the store. And so we see a continued shift, even from the generations that are not plugged in, to continued e-commerce online shopping, both in retail and in groceries. And this is something that Walmart needs to be aware of. And the other thing that this graph shows us is that this trend is going to continue to grow as the younger generations continue to grow up. And what this shows us is that a higher proportion of the younger generations are engaging in online retail and grocery shopping, with 66% of Gen Z ordering their groceries online, and 61% of millennials, and even more than half of Gen X is ordering their groceries online. So this slide, along with the previous slide, really point to the fact that this e-commerce sector is going to continue to grow, and this is something that Walmart needs to continue to capitalize on over time. One of the other key areas where we believe that Walmart can focus as a strategy in the future is in vertical integration. Now, we know that Walmart has already started this initiative to some degree, similar to what they've done with e-commerce, and we can see that they've invested close to $11 billion in supply chain improvement and vertical integration in 2020 and 2021. But this is something that needs to continue. And one of the reasons for this is that Walmart already works in a very low margin environment. So for them to continue to grow and increase market share, there's really not a whole lot that they can do from their pricing standpoint because the margin is already so small. So for them, this means that they need to focus on lowering cost. And the real way to do that at their size is in vertical integration. So this is somewhere where Walmart has already focused, and we'll see this in the next slide, but needs to focus on acquisition of key suppliers and key producers wherever possible. Another thing that would help with this and lower costs, and is one thing that we know that they've focused on to some degree, is on micro fulfillment centers, which ultimately is going to cut down on overall shipping costs and overall expense. And when Walmart is able to successfully vertically integrate and focus on lowering their costs, then they've got more room in the margin area to work with and can actually focus on continuing to compete more with overall pricing. And ultimately, this is a strategy that is going to help Walmart long term. Here we can see some of the fruits of the labor where Walmart has already successfully started to vertically integrate. And these quick pictures take a look over the last few years of some of the partnerships and acquisitions that Walmart has already capitalized on. Some of these acquisitions include Moosejaw, Shoes.com, Bare Necessities, Jet, Flipkart, and ModCloth. And these are all areas where Walmart is able to acquire these suppliers and is able to therefore cut costs because they are not having to have the same profit margin that these existing companies had to have on their own. So this is somewhere where Walmart, instead of having to be a purchaser, now becomes a supplier through the acquisition of these companies, can now introduce these products to its shelves at a much lower cost. Likewise, Walmart has also partnered with some of the bigger names out there that we are all very familiar with, such as Microsoft, Google, Postmates, DoorDash, and eBooks. And one thing that we know is Walmart is continuing to focus in its budget on future acquisitions and partnerships and continued vertical integration so that it can continue along this line, continue to lower costs. And we would expect in the future that we would see other names in here that we already know are out there, and Walmart will ultimately continue to grow with this strategy of vertical integration. Another key area where we believe that Walmart can focus as a strategy is on local brand and community outreach and development. Now, Walmart carries a stigma with it of being a giant corporate entity, and I think it is a name and an entity that all of us are very familiar with, regardless of age or generation. But one interesting trend that we continue to see grow is that the younger generations tend to have a degree of corporate distaste with them and have a much stronger preference to buy and shop locally. And as generations continue to progress and these younger generations grow and become the majority of the population and the older generations move on, it will be important that Walmart works to connect with these younger generations. And some of our thoughts around strategy is that Walmart can start to focus on things like local brands and local sourcing so that when these younger generations go to shop at a Walmart-owned center, they're actually getting products that are sourced locally. And rather than having to get something that is shipped from a big corporate entity from across the country, Walmart can work on a strategy to work with local producers and suppliers and work with local ingredients and groceries, and build things like farmers markets where they bring in local vendors. Currently, this is not an area where Walmart has strongly focused outside of the creation of their neighborhood market stores, which, while a little bit smaller, still do focus on a national strategy. So this is an area where if Walmart can be successful and really develop a local image and brand that is in touch with the local communities, we believe that the younger generations will be much more interested in future shopping at Walmart-owned locations. One other key area where we believe that Walmart can focus is to work against this constant battle of inflation that we are all seeing right now in 2022. And currently, we are at a 40-year high inflation rate of 7.9%, and I think that we all feel the impact right now of gas prices against our budget. Now, one issue that Walmart has, and this is something that we did mention earlier, is that they are notorious for their razor thin margins, meaning that they are just about as competitive as they can be at the current time. There's not a lot of room for them to move their prices as is, but in order for them to be a strong player as prices go up, they will have to be a supplier where prices don't go up as much, and that will be their competitive advantage against inflation. So we believe that Walmart can use a number of these other strategies that we've talked about in previous slides in combination to ultimately work to stabilize their prices as other suppliers and retailers around them have no choice but to raise their prices. And these strategies include everything that we've talked about before. E-commerce development being one, where they can save ultimately on stocking costs and can spend less money on retail stores and focus on online environments. That in combination with vertical integration to ultimately lower their costs will be some of the areas where they can work to cut their costs so that ultimately they have more margin and wiggle room to play with so that they are in control of their prices as prices around them go up with inflation.
Now we will explore the recommendations that we have for Walmart. The first one is focused on creating strategies that maintain a competitive advantage in this market. This is a highly saturated market, so Walmart needs to maintain unique marketing strategies, value-added processes, a niche, or brand loyalty. This will allow Walmart to stand out and allow its consumers to choose Walmart over other discount retail stores. The next recommendation is to focus on international expansion. New foreign markets have many different benefits. One of those benefits is reduced costs due to less outsourcing. It also provides access to new consumers, which can translate into new or increased sales. More consumers creates opportunity for more data. This allows for a stronger and better marketing technique and possibly an overall improvement for the business. More data from a diverse mix of consumers allows company to pinpoint areas of improvement in their strengths. Also, an international online presence gives Walmart the ability to spread their market outreach virtually instead of physically through stores. Walmart can also use this to expand their philanthropic ideas of the Walmart Foundation. This will allow them to assist countries who may need it. Diversification across seas or into other countries minimizes risk. Walmart locations can use their stronger stores in different countries and locations to support stores that may need assistance. Diversification also assists with reducing financial loss and possible losses of products and services. Walmart can help improve employment rates in other countries as well. This provides more warehouse and in-store jobs to those countries with lower employment rates. Lastly, it would allow Walmart to explore their global investment opportunities. Our next recommendation is for Walmart to improve on their human resource processes. Unfortunately, Walmart is known for having high attrition and employee turnover rates. If Walmart can focus on their human resources and career development, they can help employee productivity and motivation. This can assist with companies showing their employees that they are valued. This also creates a better work environment where employees feel committed to their company and have more desire to do well in their role. This also gives Walmart and their associates the ability to discover hidden talent and potential, adding this to their possibility to improve the overall business by allowing more ideas to be created and implemented. Lastly, focusing on human resources can improve training and development, which would create a safer and less risky workspace. This can reduce risk and costs with less liability with a safer workspace. Walmart can also do better with their compensation plans, which will help reduce attrition. Lastly, we recommend that Walmart focus on business-to-business relations. As they expand globally, business-to-business relations will become more important and emphasized in countries that supply to Walmart. Better relations with their suppliers allows Walmart to encourage better processing times. Better processing times can assist Walmart with getting products to their consumers in a time-efficient manner. Better relationships also can mitigate the possibility of forward vertical integration. If Walmart can help their suppliers maintain their value as a supplier, then they will be less likely to go from a supplier to a competitor. Also, business-to-business relations reflect heavily on the company's reputation. Reputation is directly correlated to the well-being of the business and stock prices. Lastly, maintaining relations can assist Walmart with predicting market or supplier changes. This way, they can coordinate plans to maintain a competitive advantage throughout whatever changes may come.